Hey, what's up everybody, this is Rick51 and today I want to go over the endgame information that we got for Borderlands 3 that was revealed at PAX West. Now, for Borderlands 3, I pretty much haven't been paying attention to any of the information and gameplay, mostly gameplay, because I didn't want to spoil a ton of the game for me because there's actually a ridiculous amount of gameplay out already. But this is all pretty much gameplay systems or just in-game endgame systems, so this type of stuff does not spoil much of the game at all, but it does show you some of the really cool systems that kind of shows that Borderlands 3 might have a much more extensive and healthy endgame than the other Borderlands for sure, and mostly all the other looter shooter games in the genre. So basically I'm just going to read out all this article. This is an article on the official Borderlands website. You could probably go watch stuff from PAX West if you want to learn, I guess, more and just see the actual reveal of all of this stuff. But to start off, even after you've traveled the galaxy, eliminated countless enemies, and finally finished Borderlands 3 story campaign, your quest for the best loot is only just getting started. So this is all stuff specifically after you beat the entire story, which I'm pretty sure spans like 3 planets and probably takes dozens of hours to finish, I would assume. The Gearbox main theater show at PAX West sheds more light on Borderlands 3 Endgame, which includes a return of True Vault Hunter mode, Guardian rank, which is an evolution of the badass rank mechanic introduced in Borderlands 2, and introduces the new Mayhem Mode, which provides gameplay changing randomness to the Borderlands experience. It's a little weirdly worded. When you combined Mayhem Mode, True Vault Hunter mode, and Guardian rank progression, the highly playable Proving Grounds and Circle of Slaughter arenas, Borderlands 3 Endgame has a lot to offer. And those things are actually, there's an article on that, but those are basically, from what I read on it, just in the short article that it has right here, pretty much those are like, or at least the higher level one is basically just like big timed, like kind of arenas that you have to kill a certain amount of enemies and kill bosses, and there's other objectives in there that you can do, like for instance not dying if you want to get more rewards. So that's basically what those are. Those are more, I guess, more in-game stuff, even though I think you can do these, or at least a proving grounds, earlier on. And it also has this picture, but this is for Guardian rank. We'll look at that after we read all this. So Guardian rank. Beating the campaign unlocks a crucial component of Borderlands 3 Endgame, Guardian rank. If you're familiar with previous Borderlands badass rank system, the basic idea is the same. You can unlock incremental stat improvement that applies to all of your Vault Hunters, but Guardian rank reinvents the mechanic by providing the opportunity for more powerful buffs atop all the smaller bonuses. The Guardian rank sits above your usual XP bar on all your Vault Hunters and is leveled up via experience points. Every bar you fill unlocks a Guardian token, which you can spend to unlock bonus stats across 3 distinct trees. Spending a Guardian token lets you choose one option from a total of 6 randomly selected stats, 2 from each tree, from a total of 17 helpful varieties. So basically, when you get the Guardian token, you can choose one option from a total of 6 randomly selected stats, 2 from each tree. So basically, when you get one of these, I guess it gives you an option that it will probably pop up. I'm wondering if it's just you put a point in and it gives you a random stat, or if it shows you the stats. So say if you get one of these tokens, which there's actually a picture here to show the trees. So say if you get one of the tokens, would it just show, like, say if you scrolled over one of the trees, would it just show which stat it's going to give you? Or show you the 2 stats possible, or would it just randomly give you a stat? Not exactly certain because it was kind of worded a little bit weirdly. But basically this is the picture showing how it's going to work. Basically there's the 3 skill trees here, and you put points on all of them as you see, and then it shows all of the bonuses right here that you can get. This is all of the ones you can possibly get, but I don't think they're all able to be upgraded with every token. So basically you'll just have 2 choices for each. But we'll look at that because there's also something I want to talk about in that picture. But first, for all of the different stats you can get. So Enforcer has critical damage, grenade damage, gunfire rate, melee damage, vehicle damage. This is all just straight damage increases. Survival. Survivor is fight for your life duration, fight for your life movement speed, max health, shield capacity, shield recharge delay, and rate. So this is, all the defensive tanky stuff. Then we have Hunter, accuracy, action skill cooldown, luck drop rate or rare drop rate increase, recoil reduction, and reload speed. So basically Enforcer's all pure damage. Survivor is basically all survivability stuff, and then Hunter is all kind of utility stuff. And then accuracy could kind of be damage increases. It would make you do more damage, but it's all still based around utility. These stat bonuses are nothing to sneeze at on their own, but the real prize lies in the guardian rank trees. By investing a certain amount of tokens, you'll unlock guardian rewards specific to the Enforcer, Survival, and Hunter categories. There are 6 tiers across all 3 trees, unlocked by spending 10, 15, 25, 35, 50, or 75 in their respective category. These Guardian rewards include weapon and Vault Hunter skins to help show off your commitment to Vault Hunting, as well as passive buffs that can seriously boost your overall power. For instance, the 2nd tier Guardian rewards, which will grant additional gun damage to all shots while in fight for your life. The Inner Fury buff in the Enforcer tree make you recover from fight for your life with full health and shields. Resilient in the Survivor tree, or grant ammo from all ammo pickups. Bullet Collector in the Hunter tree. Unlocking Guardian rewards takes serious dedication, but the payoffs will be felt across all your playthroughs from that moment on. So basically this is tied pretty much just to your entire account, so all your characters. And as we were talking about before, this is the 3 skill trees. So once you hit 10, you get this first one if you get 10 in any of those, and then it's 15, 25, and so on to get the actual extra bigger buffs, I guess, from the skill trees themselves. Then you're also getting these stats. Now, a few things we can look at. The Enforcer, we can't really tell how much percentage you're getting from each point because it has all points in there, but it only has 3 in Survivor and 2 in Hunter, so it's much easier to look at how much you're actually getting. So for Survivor, they have 3 different stats. So basically Survivor, they have 1 stat into all 3 that they have increases. So Survivor right now is giving fight for your life duration 1%, max health 1%, shield capacity 1%. I could assume most of these might be close to that. But for Hunter, we have accuracy, which is 0.99% for some reason. But luck rare drop rate is 1%. That luck rare drop rate, I could see people actually foregoing damage stuff earlier on and definitely just kind of going as much into Hunter to try to get as much luck as you possibly can, because 1% is pretty decent, especially when this is tied across all your characters. So this will just help, especially once you get more max level characters, this will just help to get more drops much quicker. So maybe there'll be people, going with the strategy of just trying to get as much luck as possible. It doesn't say, but I'm not certain if there would be any diminishing returns. So say if you went as much as you possibly get in a Hunter to get all the luck, would it start getting less stats over time? Probably not. Just because it's not like ridiculous statage already, and this person is, rank 27, so a decent-ish early rank, I guess. But that is pretty much it for the Guardian ranks. Now, and that system alone adds a lot to it. It extends on, the system that they had in Borderlands 2, like they say in the article. So that itself adds quite a bit of an endgame. Not even looking at your actual loot, just looking at getting XP past max level and still getting rewards for that. Then we have True Vault Hunter mode. When you're ready for the next step in difficulty, beating the story campaign also unlocks True Vault Hunter mode, which is Borderlands 3 take on New Game Plus. This is worded kind of weirdly. So basically, this is also after you beat the entire story campaign. As you'd expect from a challenging from a challenge befitting a true Vault Hunter. The enemies will be tougher, the loot will be better compared to your normal mode conquest. Your character's mission progress is unique to normal or true Vault Hunter playthroughs, but your Vault Hunter stats and equipment are shared across both. So basically what they're saying with that is that, it's pretty sure it's been the same in every Borderlands, that you have basically after you beat the campaign the first time, that's like your normal mode. Then true Vault Hunter mode basically resets the entire mission, so you have to go through and beat it again on that mode. But the stats and all your equipment is clearly shared between them. Then we have Mayhem Mode. Mayhem Mode has the power to change the entire universe of Borderlands 3 upon completing the story campaign. So another thing that's only activatable after you beat the entire story, which is also really good because you just get a ridiculous amount of new stuff to go do after you beat the entire story, which is going to take probably a good amount of time within itself. So upon completing the story campaign, you'll activate a mysterious terminal aboard Sanctuary 3 that can enable 3 difficulty levels: Mayhem 1, 2, and 3. Taking on one of the Mayhem modes ups the ante and on risks and rewards across all worlds. Enemies get increased health, shields, and armor, while you get bonus cash, Eridium, experience gains, and chances for better loot. Jumping straight into Mayhem 3 is basically a death sentence. So basically what they're saying there is jumping into 3, you're just going to die and do nothing. So you kind of have to go through 1, 2, and 3. This is death sentence. Instead, you should start at Mayhem 1 and work your way up to higher difficulties once you've acquired enough upgraded gear. Mayhem mode has more badasses and anointed enemies. Basically, things are going to be tougher all around. To offset that difficulty, enemies can drop anointed gear, which grants buffs to your action skills, including some that are specific to one Vault Hunter class. And they have a picture of a weapon here. So basically, they're saying these anointed enemies can drop anointed weapons like this, which I'm assuming is just showing it's anointed and then telling what is anointed down here. So on action skill end, the next 2 magazines will have 50% additional bonus corrosive damage. Now that's for everybody, but they are talking about that there can be specific ones of this buff right here for the specific Vault Hunters. So it would be, activate this specific action skill that's, only that Vault Hunter has, and you'll get some type of buff. Maybe, it buffs the weapon, making that anointed weapon only for that class or that Vault Hunter. Or maybe it's like this weapon buffs, like say you use your specific Vault Hunter class ability and maybe it buffs the next one you use or something. It'd be tons of stuff. On top of, actually I wanted to look at this picture first because we kind of went over what it shows. So this shows you the terminal that you activate, and it shows what Mayhem 1 has in it. Loot quality increased by 200%, pretty big. Experience, Eridium / cash increased by 200%, pretty big. Enemy health increased by 15. Enemy shields and armor increased by 25. So really good big buffs to enemies, but really massive buffs to your type of stuff. And then there's also like mod and stuff, which I don't think we read down there yet. But basically, there's different mods that can happen on different, when you activate Mayhem. Basically, on the top of the tougher baddies, Mayhem modes apply Mayhem mods to any planet you visit, which force you to adapt to new playstyles and combat approaches in response to a random selection of modifiers. For instance, you might get Mayhem mod like Savage, where all enemies deal more weapon damage, or you're a wizard, which reduces the damage players do with normal bullets, but increase their elemental damage by the same amount. The set of Mayhem mods you'll encounter are viewable from the map screen, and certain Mayhem mods only come into play when you've activated Mayhem 2 or 3. So there's basically mods that basically will be harder or more extreme, I would assume, because it can only be on 2 or 3 instead of just 1, making your survival that much less likely. Be aware that you won't have access to the Mayhem mode terminal in True Vault Hunter mode until you've beaten the new campaign, so plan accordingly. So basically, Mayhem mode is also end-to-end game, because after you get True Vault Hunter mode, which you can only get to after you beat the normal campaign, you have to beat the True Vault Hunter mode campaign, which I'm not actually sure if there's new quests or something. since I haven't really been paying attention to the information in the game. But basically this makes this like a third difficulty, or like a modification to the second difficulty that can only be done after you beat that. So a lot of, you know, progressing in Endgame after you beat the normal story. And we get to see some of the more information. Potential Mayhem mods. Bulletproof enemies take 15% less damage from normal bullets and attacks. Insulated enemies take 15% less from incinerary. Ice hard, they take 15% less from cryo. Grounded, take 50% less from something. So there's tons of different ways that this could work, and there's tons of different stuff they could do with this. But yeah, this is also really good just because it sounds like it's going to be randomizing these. I'm not exactly certain if it's just you go to a planet, if you leave that planet and then go back, does it reset, or is it on like some type of specific timer or something? Not exactly certain on that, but there's tons of stuff they could do with it. They can even do like specific timed ones. Say on the weekend there's some buff that can activate, that maybe makes it harder but gives you more rewards, kind of like a different version of a double XP weekend buff that a lot of games like to do. There could be tons of different stuff they could do with this, and it could always be expanded. Because for a system like this, it's pretty much guaranteed that they set the system up with the ability to change these often or add new ones, and have it very easy to add new ones. So this could be basically a way for the game to always have replayability just by changing these mods. And they could do crazy stuff. They could, add, make it kind of like Borderlands, a pre-sequel where there's, like low gravity or high gravity or whatever. They could do whatever they want, which is really cool that they added a system like that. So with all these avenues for endgame progression, there's a wealth of challenging content and coveted rewards to chase as soon as you finish Borderlands 3 story campaign. Even if you somehow manage to conquer every challenge Borderlands 3 throws, collect a sizable chunk of its billion plus weapons, and max out every vault under class, there's still plenty of more Borderlands 3 content to come. Here's just a taste of what's going on, what's on the horizon for Borderlands 3. Now, this also shows, I was talking about earlier, that all this stuff is pretty much showing that there's going to be a really healthy endgame and really healthy pre-release, gameplay basically for this game. And this just shows a lot more, because I was not expecting this much content to be shown for 2019. So if you don't know, it's September 3rd right now. The game comes out, what is it, September 16th, I think? 14th or 16th or something? One of those days. Middle of September, basically. Now, this is showing 3 basically content updates. These 2 free ones, which shows on here, and then DLC 1, which is paid stuff. This says this is all for 2019 fall/winter. If you don't know, there's only 3 months after September. So this is all within a 3.5 month period. We're basically getting a new content update every month, which is pretty crazy, because one of the biggest things with pretty much all of the looter shooter genre, the biggest issue has pretty much been a lack of content, a lack of stuff to constantly bring people back, and slow content updates. Some games do better than others, but the vast majority of the genre has had that as an issue that's pretty much plagued all of them. Why a lot of the games in the genre kind of have this like die out, come back when there's a new update, die out again, come back months and months later when there's something new to do. And these type of games are kind of tailor-made to be a main game that you constantly farm. And just with this, if they keep up, a new update monthly with new stuff to actually do, Borderlands 3 is going to have a pretty healthy player base for a long time, even past what it would normally have. So first, we have Bloody Harvest event. So I guess this is Halloween. Free content update. Spooky activities. So clearly it's Halloween-based stuff. Unique event rewards, which is also very cool that there's unique rewards for different events that they have coming out, which is also cool because I think it's really cool when games have like themed events like, you know, Halloween, Christmas, all that type of stuff. Just constantly having those is something to look forward to every single year is really cool, and it just adds kind of new content with it having being something that's basically already made. Then we have Maliwan Takedown, free content update again, an all new map. So I'm wondering how big this is actually going to be, because, you know, we're starting with 3 planets, which I assume are chunked into bunches of different maps, but I'm wondering how big a new map is. But that's pretty cool. An all new map already, probably 2 months after release. That's free, pretty cool. Challenging new enemies, so there's new enemies, more really good content, because new enemies can kind of change how the game feels to play, at least against those enemies. All new bosses, or take down an all new boss, so just one new boss. I don't know how crazy they're going to get with endgame bosses, but I could see them getting pretty crazy, kind of having these, you know, like raid-esque style bosses. Earn powerful rewards, so probably new rewards specific to the event. It doesn't say unique, so it might just be, you know, rewards that are really powerful that comes specifically from this thing, or maybe they're upping the power like scale of weapons and stuff with this. Could be for different things. Then DLC 1 paid content, so this is paid content if you have the season pass, or you can just buy this when it comes out. Included with the season pass, new campaign add-on, so there's actually new main story, which is also really good, especially since this will be coming out you know, within 3.5 months, probably within 3 months of the release of the game, we'll get a new add-on to the main campaign of the game. And then there's more details to be announced with this, so there's probably more stuff with it, which is really good for the game. With all this other stuff, we're gonna have so much to do with all of this stuff here. And then collecting all the weapons, leveling up your different vault hunters, all that type of stuff. There's going to be a ridiculous amount to do, and we're going to be getting new content, new stuff to do really quickly. So, in my opinion, this bodes really well for the, you know, health of the game post launch. And hopefully this will keep people coming back. Hopefully they'll keep giving us content, because at that point, this game's just going to be super healthy and a really good game to continuously play. But that is all I wanted to talk about today. Subscribe if you want to see more Borderlands 3 and other content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you think about Borderlands 3 as a whole. Did you pre-order it? Are you going to be playing it when it, you know, on day 1 release? What you think about all this new information, and thanks for watching.